This is Reality Dispatch, written by Jim Minns.
"You'll forgive me if I don't shake your hand," Kevin said as he sat on the couch opposite the secretary's desk. "I didn't offer it," said the secretary. Kevin grinned as he stood immediately from the seat and wandered over to the liquor cabinet. "I don't have a high affinity with government officials. They like to play games with my work." "I just don't have time for that sort of thing," Kevin said, nursing a newly poured Chivas Regal Extra on ice. "I'm not the government," said the secretary. He rose from behind his desk and proceeded over to join Kevin at the minibar. He poured from the same bottle and turned to join Kevin in admiration of the view. "You ever seen New York City from such a height?" asked the secretary. "I've never left Kansas. You know this," replied Kevin. They sipped from their glasses. "Why do you distrust me so much, Mr. Kwan?" Kevin sipped a larger gulp, debating whether to be truthful. In the end, he was. "My nickname in the Department of Homeland Security was Richie Rich," Kevin began. "You worked for the government?" asked the secretary. "I thought you'd never left Kansas." "It was during the pandemic. We worked from home," Kevin explained. "Are you going to let me finish my story?" The secretary raised his hand in defense as Kevin continued. "They called me Richie Rich, even though my family was poor. We were dirt poor. I only just got that job after I was kicked out of MIT. Homeland Security was meant to be my big break after I let my family down by dropping out. All they did was ridicule me." "Why did they call you that?" the secretary asked. "It's because of my project. I developed it on the back of an idea I had from that movie from the 90s. You know, the one starring Macaulay Culkin?" "Home Alone?" wondered the secretary. "No, Richie Rich," explained Kevin. "There was a scene where this scientist that Richie employed had developed a drone the size of a bee to help pollinate plants when the animals were struggling to make the spread of pollen due to the changes in climate and weather pattern, not to mention dwindling numbers. They all laughed at me and thought my idea was a joke. I couldn't get a reference from MIT either," Kevin said, looking at his ripped Converse shoes. "Why not?" asked the secretary. "Because I don't want to get into it," Kevin explained. "Because you were kicked out for cheating," the secretary said. Kevin didn't respond. He placed his drink down on the counter and headed for the exit. "I'm not the government, Mr. Kwan. I work for other entities outside the United States interests. Sometimes those interests align with the needs of the United States, but that is not the capacity in which I wanted you to see me," the secretary explained. Kevin stopped at the door, thankful that he didn't have to open it. He was desperately wanting to be wanted, and this was his opportunity. United States government or not, this fancy office was asking to meet with him, and these opportunities didn't present themselves on a regular occurrence. "Why do they call you the secretary?" Kevin asked. The secretary walked closer and outstretched a hand of friendship. "Call me Andy," he said. The two men shook. Kevin smiled. "It's a moniker I cannot shake from a bygone era. I can assure you that I am a private agent. I wanted to see you to discuss your bee project. I can promise you that I will not laugh at you, and I will not steal your intellectual property regarding the technology. All I want to know is, how far along are you in this development? And how much would your services be indefinitely?" Kevin beamed. He had been dreaming of an opportunity like this ever since the tech had successfully run a test flight from Kansas to Nebraska. The micro-drone he had invented was able to withstand wind gusts, rain, and even the beating of a semi-trailer's windshield to arrive at its final destination. "I don't talk dollars over an empty stomach," Kevin said, his smile having completely taken over his face. "Fair enough." "Grace?" said Andy. A voice appeared over an intercom. "Yes, Mr. Secretary?" "Please get us a table for 2 at McNeil's," he directed. "Certainly, sir. What time for?" Grace asked. "Oh, right now," said Andy. "Right away." Andy slapped Kevin hard on the back and asked again, "Tell me, Mr. Kwan, just how far along are these micro-drones? We have tunnels that are full of mercenaries. This is all confidential, and I will give you a proper briefing once we have formalized our arrangement. I just need to know, do these things work?" Andy asked as he turned to face Kevin before they exited the office together. "You tell me," said Kevin as his eyes gazed toward Andy's blazer pocket. Andy's eyes followed Kevin's and spotted the tiny insect-like bot planted amongst the fabric, no bigger than a fly, not discernibly different in appearance. Kevin removed a smartphone from his pocket and held the screen to Andy. There he saw in real time a video image of Andy holding the mobile screen from an angle of his mid-torso. Andy smiled and held out a hand to shake even more gregariously.
For more stories of fact-based fiction, head to jimmins.substack.com.